What's good? What's good, all of you? What's good? Today we'll be reacting to Speed's story. Let's see how he started, how Speed went through all this shit. So let's
Alright,
go.
what's good, YouTube? I'm gonna post this video 3 years later.
This is ISHOWSPEED. He started out as
Maybe I should do that. Just do a video be like, what's up? I'm gonna post in about 6 months. And by then, if I should be monetized, I hope.
just another streamer, but now he's one of the most viral creators on the internet. But how did he actually do it? How did he build a fan base of over 40 million subscribers, stream to over 1 million live concurrent viewers, and even hung out with some of the biggest stars in the world, like meeting Cristiano Ronaldo himself? Well, today I'll be breaking down 3 key reasons that explains his explosive growth. And while I study many creators and viral content strategies for a living, Speed stands out as one of the clearest examples of how to blow up if you understand human psychology and how to correctly play the game of social media. By the end of this video, once you see his approach, I hope I'll be able to show you his rise wasn't random at all. So let's start with the first big reason out of the 3 of why he blew up, being his universal approach. Unlike some creators who build around niche communities or very specific interests, Speed keeps his content wide open.
I know that's not impossible. Everyone just keeps saying you need a niche, you need a path, you need specific thing you rotate about, but Speed did it.
That simplicity is actually his biggest advantage because it means anyone, anywhere in the world can tune in and understand what's happening without needing context. You can see this best in his most viral moments. Think about the clip of him freaking out over fireworks in his room or screaming at a game glitching. You don't need a single word of English to get why it's funny. His reactions are exaggerated, his expressions are wild, and the emotion behind it is crystal clear. An additional part of the strength in his universal appeal is how easily shareable his content is. A lot of streamers build communities around inside jokes and things that you only get if you've been watching them for months. And that can make the content feel exclusive, but it also puts a limit on growth. And Speed doesn't do that. When he makes a joke, it's instantly clear, meaning there's no barrier to entry, no confusing references.
That's true actually. When some streamers make jokes, they're referring to the community, the Twitch community. But when Speed make jokes, it just stupid.
There's no need to catch up to understand what's happening.
I'm thinking of doing that Omegle stream, just talk to strangers and catch crews.
This makes his clips perfect for sharing because anyone who stumbles across them instantly gets the joke. And that's the secret behind how virality spreads. And while his universal appeal is what gave Speed global reach, the crucial thing that really allowed him to take off, and the second big reason to his success, is the fact that he is the drama
I need to learn that.
king. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean it in the sense that drama attracts attention and Speed knows exactly how to create it. From the very beginning, his personality was loud, over the top, and unpredictable, and all of that makes him impossible to ignore. Some people might find it obnoxious, but whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny that it is entertaining. But it's not just being loud for the sake of being loud. Speed takes that energy and channels it into dramatic social environments. You see this the most when he's interacting with other streamers or people on camera. And that's the magic of it all because he turns what could be a normal interaction into something that feels like a full-blown spectacle. This is basically the same formula that reality TV has thrived on for decades, which is conflict, tension, and raw reactions. And Speed doesn't just stop at conflict because another layer he adds is also romance. The best example of this was when he traveled to Korea. Fans followed along as
I want to say this clear now, right? I know everyone likes Amy, but I hate Amy. I feel she just got bored. She just left. It's not worth it. I don't know why people support Amy like that.
he flirted, joked, and created these on-stream relationship moments that quickly turned into a full-blown storyline. Clips spread everywhere, people were curious, people were invested, and some even felt protective over him or the girl he was with. And that's because romance is one of the most powerful forms of drama. It instantly
Yeah, that's why streamers with girlfriends just always want to bring her into the stream. Because it's increased content and growth, unlike a single move.
raises the emotional stakes, and it's not just the streamer being funny anymore. It starts to feel more personal, like you're watching a love story unfold live. However, although being loud and dramatic is what caused Speed's viral moments, what really sets him apart is how he always levels up, because the third big reason for Speed's viral growth is how he balances doubling down on what works with constantly finding ways to keep things fresh. The thing is, a lot of creators make the mistake of finding one thing that works and then running it into the ground until their audience gets bored.
Basically, clicks.
But Speed knew not to make that mistake, and instead, he took the things that hit and leaned into them hard, but he also knew when to switch up before it got stale. The best example of this would be football, as early on, Speed realized that whenever he talked about soccer, specifically Cristiano Ronaldo, his content exploded. Clips of him chanting "Sí" and debating Messi versus Ronaldo, or even traveling to watch matches brought in huge waves of new fans. And what he was really doing here was trendjacking at the highest level, because since Ronaldo is one of the most famous people in the world, by associating himself with that trend, Speed tapped
I hate when people try to make good things sound terrible. Try to make him look like he's taking advantage of the situation.
into a global audience way bigger than his core fanbase. And every time he doubled down on it, the numbers backed him up. But here's where most creators would have gone wrong, because he could have just gone all in on football and tried to turn himself into the soccer guy. And that might have worked for a while, but eventually the trend would fade and his content would have narrowed to
Is that X you see? Is that X?
a niche that capped his growth. But instead, Speed kept football as a major part of his brand, but he didn't let it define him completely. He kept streaming games, he did travel and tour style content when visiting new countries, and he even released music videos that racked up tens of millions of views. And that constant injection of novelty kept his audience on their toes. And this is all because humans are psychologically naturally drawn to surprise. We get bored fast, and Speed made sure his fans never knew exactly what he was going to do next. And that balance of doubling down on proven hits while also constantly experimenting with fresh ideas is the reason his growth never slowed down. He always had something familiar to keep fans coming back, and something unexpected to keep them excited. So, when you really break it down, Speed's success came down to three main things. First, being his universal appeal, making content that anyone, anywhere in the world could instantly understand. Second, being the drama king, leaning into tension, emotion,
I need to write this down somewhere. I don't have a paper. Fuck. Hope I remember.
and high energy moments that people can't look away from. And third, knowing how to double down on what works while always surprising his audience with something new. And that combination is rare because most creators only get one of those right, while Speed managed to hit all three. Now, if you're a creator yourself, these are the patterns to study, as they're the difference between staying small and breaking through to millions. But for now, thank you for watching, and if you want to see how I break down other creator strategies to blow up, make sure to subscribe, because I've got some crazy case studies you won't want to miss.
Alright, what's good, YouTube?
Now, what next? What should I watch? Nah.